Welcome back, my loyal subjects, to more Trails of Cold Steel 2. Pharaoh Fiasco here. As you can see, the opening has actually changed for the better. Huh. There are like a million of us now, dude. Oh well. Let's load game. We were right here. And then the last thing that had happened is that Reen, he got mafia'd. Yeah. Whoa. This theme is actually really nice. Noble Alliance Forces flagship aerial battleship Pantagruel. Oh, you can see the Divine Knights just hanging out. So I'm guessing we're about to have some up close and oh, they chained it down. There's no possible way that can prevent us from doing whatever we want. Crow's the only thing doing that. And also, I guess because Reen's a nice guy, I wouldn't like kill everybody by crashing the ship. So, I guess Duke Cayenne is probably about to appeal to the fact that Reen is also technically a noble. Yeah. Oh, Rufus too. Yeah, everybody's here.
So this is what Duke Cayenne looks like from up close.
We saw him before, but he was standing on top of a balcony or something.
It's hard to believe that I've ended up in the same room as the leader of the Noble Alliance.
You know what you've got. You know what you've got to do, Reen. Take one for the team, bro.
Although I guess we did meet back in Legram before the war broke out.
Reen Schwarzer. Truth be told, we don't want this war to drag on any more than you do.
Then I'm not. Honestly, I'm not sure why they took Reen, though. Like, he's got the Divine Knight, but he's not... Well, I guess if Reen joined forces with them, they could knock out the Reformists way quicker. I guess, but they should know that's never gonna happen.
Really?
We only acted as we did, due in part to our dearly departed Chancellor's behavior being far too unreasonable to justify turning a blind eye.
Yeah, apparently the first game in the series that I really got into was also old Blood and Iron's final appearance. I never got to see any of the crazy stuff he did other than them talking about annexing the Jirai neutral zone or whatever. But apparently he wasn't too great.
He garnered the trust of His Majesty and in turn misused that trust. He flagrantly disregarded this nation's beloved culture and traditions, treating Erebonia as if it were his own personal property.
I'm kind of... I don't want to, like, really take Duke Cayenne too much at his word, but too many people before him have talked about Blood and Iron as if he were, like, the devil, or Gehenna itself, so...
Surely you, too, noticed this.
Well...
Not really.
I can't say I disagree.
Okay. I'll take Reen's word for it.
We did hear story after story during our field studies about how aggressive his policies were.
Yeah, that's true.
But the way he didn't care how many enemies he made as a result, creating terrorist groups like the Imperial Liberation Front.
But as I said, the cause of our nation's ills is now gone.
Are you sure about that, dude? Because I think we're looking at him.
Now, all that remains is to turn back the hands of time just a touch, and the good old days of the Empire will be upon us once more. The key to this bright future lies in putting aside our differences and joining hands. Am I wrong?
There it is. Join us and we can rule together.
I'm afraid that yes, you are. Do you honestly believe that people can so easily put aside their differences after all the Alliance has done? You occupied Heimdall and effectively took every one of its citizens hostage, imprisoned the Imperial family. And let's not forget how you're now in league with the enemy nation responsible for the destruction of Gorelia Fortress.
Is Reen talking about Crossbell?
After all that, the Imperial army would never bow their heads to the likes of you, even if the rest of the population did.
He's totally talking about Crossbell. I don't know, that Lloyd fella looks, wait, is his name Lloyd or Irving? Wait, I feel like that guy's name was definitely Lloyd, but now I can't remember what the other Lloyd's last name was. Oh well, it doesn't matter.
My word, I'm afraid there's been a terrible misunderstanding. The Imperial family is simply under our loving protection. They certainly haven't been imprisoned.
Are you sure about that though, Duke Cayenne? Or is this just a creative definition of not being under imprisonment?
But that does bring me to exactly why I want you to help us.
It does?
The Azure Knight is already on our side. But if we had your Ashen Knight as well,
Figured, yeah.
that would mean we'd have two of the great knights of Erebonian legend to put into play.
Yep, Reen would make them that much stronger, but there's no way he would help.
Couple them with our Panzer Soldats, and the Imperial Army's armored divisions would cower before us.
But he still hasn't made the case as far as why Reen would agree to do this.
You may not find us winning the war ideal, but this union benefits everyone more than carrying on until our inevitable victory,
Okay, if your victory's so inevitable, then you won't mind we just waltz out of here now and keep fighting.
I don't think it's that simple.
I beg to differ. The presence of Soldats units on a battlefield makes a tremendous difference.
That can't be denied. Laura was talking about what good is one sword, and I'm sure that guy in the back with whatever armament he's carrying can't hurt us Panzer Soldat either, so.
What they may lack in firepower and armor compared to tanks, they make up for in mobility and versatility. But more important than even those factors is the psychological impact they have on our opponents.
I know if I were a soldier and I saw a gigantic robot drop down on the field, I wouldn't want to be sent into battle against that thing.
Well...
Yeah.
We're only human. As such, we are as captivated as we are terrified of giant beings bearing human form. And if that holds true even for mass-produced soldats made with modern technology, it will be all the more true for the divine knights of legend you and Crow possess.
Can't argue with that logic.
Of course you can't, Crow. You're on their side.
I will say it once more. Gileath Osborne is dead. And with his death, all that's left to be done is end this ridiculous war and return order to the Empire. Only then will everything be as it should.
As long as you jokers aren't at the helm, then yeah, I agree.
That includes both your pleasant academy life and the peaceful days of darling Elise and her friend the princess.
See, I don't understand what his game plan was in bringing up our kidnapped little sisters.
Are you trying to...
Whatever you ultimately decide, their safety is guaranteed.
Then why are they still kidnapped?
I would ask that you promise him this, if nothing else, Your Grace.
Oh wow, Rufus is bargaining in the middle of him bargaining with us? Good stuff.
But of course, I'm not a monster.
So can you not, can they be released back to us then?
Rufus...
We may stand on opposite sides of this conflict, but I still sit on Thor's board of directors.
It's kind of cool that he still values that position, even now.
And in that capacity, I suggest you consider carefully the choice before you. After all, every soldier must decide for himself whether a cause is worth fighting, perhaps even dying for. I look forward to hearing your answer.
So, we get a few moments to deliberate on this. Oh, okay, we're being taken away. Please come with us, Master Reen. We will escort you to your guest room. Food and refreshments will be provided for you there. This feels a little familiar, this whole being taken captive on an enemy airship type deal. Intermission aboard the Pantagruel. Alright, I can respect it. The Legend of Heroes, Trails of Cold Steel 2, by the way. But yeah. Monday. Crap. It definitely looks as extravagant as it does on the inside and the outside, so... Oh, they've got Pantagruel guest area. How is that even a thing? I guess like we can chalk it up to orbital energy, but the flowing... Wait, is it daytime? Wow, we've been here for a bit. Alright. And this is Reen's area to check out at. Is there anything here we can repurpose?
All that's left to be done is end this ridiculous war and return order to the Empire. Only then will everything be as it should. That includes both your pleasant academy life and the peaceful days of darling Elise and her friend the princess.
I suggest you consider carefully the choice before you.
So slimy.
After all, every soldier must decide for himself whether a cause is worth fighting, perhaps even dying for. I look forward to hearing your answer.
It's hard to argue that this war began because the noble faction went too far.
That's Duke Cayenne's faction, isn't it?
But the longer it goes on, the more people are going to suffer. Am I really okay with that?
Well, think of how many people are going to suffer if you put that jerk in the, captain's seat.
If I join them, I could reduce the number of victims, be friends with Crow again, free Elise and Princess Alphen.
Reducing the number of victims and freeing Elise and Princess Alphen are pretty good reasons to try to get this done. I can't think of any other ones, though.
No, this isn't that simple. Think, Rain, think. I was able to reunite with the others, but Elise and Princess Alphen are still in the Alliance's custody. What's the best thing I can do? This isn't just about me. What do all of us want to do?
Keep racking your brain like that and smoke will start coming out of your ears.
Okay, so he's back to the old Crow. At least for a little bit, I guess. Oh, did he bring us food?
What do you want?
Hey now, no need to give me that look. I figured I was gonna find you busy thinking everything over like your life depended on it. And what do you know? I was right.
How about you mind your own damn business?
There you go, Ring. You tell him.
And don't you have better things to do with your time? I figured the glorious Azure Chevalier would be far too busy with the war to be hanging out around here.
Dang. Ring was just talking about wanting to be best buddies with this guy again. Where'd all this venom come from?
It's tough being popular. If you joined us, I could get away with doing half the work I am now. So come on, stop freaking out about it so much and make a choice.
This isn't something I can just decide by flipping a coin, Crow.
I get it. I know what he's referencing.
Besides, it'd probably be an easier choice if not for a certain someone. What's that in your hand, anyway?
Grub, of course. Kinda early, but I brought you your lunch. Mind if I join you?
I don't know. There better not be any, orbal cyanide in this. Oh, that looks kind of good. What is that, a fish sandwich?
Hamburgers, fries, and onion rings, huh?
What kind of... Okay, they got the square patties then. Alright.
I was expecting something more fancy like I had last night.
Oh, that kind of food more your thing? Okay then, give me a minute while I go ask the chef to whip something up.
Wow, dude, they're really trying here.
No, this is fine.
Yeah, that's... Even I would have been like, no, dude, don't put yourself out.
The burger looks delicious.
Cool. Alright, dig in.
This tastes kinda different from a normal burger.
Is it made out of monster meat or something? Actually, they probably eat monsters fairly regularly in this world.
Oh, no wonder. It's got whitefish in it.
Oh, okay. I know that, people in, countries that aren't America call any piece of meat between two pieces of bread a burger, but that's not really... They threw me off with that, because I was thinking it was a fish sandwich, but I was like, no, they said it was a burger, but oh well. I guess it's a fish burger, even though saying it that way feels kind of weird.
Yeah, they're called fish burgers.
Yeah.
Pretty good, right?
Yeah, the tartar sauce makes for an unusual extra flavoring too. This tastes amazing.
With all due respect to McDonald's, bro.
I like this way more than the food I had last night, to be honest.
Well, glad to hear it. Guess it was worth putting my cooking skills to the test after all.
Crow made it?
Wait, you made this?
Was my first time cooking in a while, too. Sharon could probably do better, though.
Why does he have to be so likable even after all this, dude? And I never, I just wanted Jellica in the party more. Not, Crow would have been, he wouldn't have been my first pick, but He's likable, but still, he's a douchebag.
But I wanted to give it a shot anyway. This stuff was like soul food back in Jirai where I grew up.
Oh,
To think, all the time we spent searching for the leader of the Imperial Liberation Front, and he was right under our noses.
I wonder if Captain Claire knows we saw that.
Crow Armbrust from the Jirai SEZ.
Something special something zone.
Oh, yeah. Vita was using some weird thing of hers to let you see what was going on, wasn't she?
Okay, it makes sense. Vita probably could have told Crow. It didn't seem like either of them acknowledged that we were watching at the time.
So I guess you saw what happened there.
Yeah, he's like, yeah, you know, just assassinated a political leader. It's no big.
yeah. Jirai was that special economic zone in the northwest you guys went to during our August field study, too.
Oh, that I remember him because I remember we were on the rooftop with him and Machias, and Crow said something about it, but that must have sucked. We didn't run into anything special. We didn't run into anything like that in the Jirai Special Economic Zone. So I guess that makes sense, seeing as it's under the direct control of the Imperial government and not a noble. I seem to recall that it was annexed 8 years ago. Is that right? Yeah, the Empire sticks it on nice and neat, without much opposition. Now it's prospering as a special economic zone on the coast. Seemed like a pretty lively place. Huh.
So you ended up going back to your old hometown then?
Okay, so he didn't tell us that he was from there at that point then.
Yeah, by pure coincidence. It's changed a lot since I was last there, so it was kind of surreal being back again. But it was nostalgic in its own way, too.
It's been bugging me for a long time now. What could have made you want to join a group of terrorists like the Imperial Liberation Front?
Yes, this we want to know.
What was it that made you hate Chancellor Osborne that much? Enough to take his life? Tell me, Crow, please. I want to know what it was that made you who you are now. What kind of place Jirai was, how you lived there, and what you were doing before you entered the academy and met Toa, Angelica, and George.
Where's the fun in prying into a guy's past?
I mean, we have to find out at some point, dude.
Save all that talk for your number one in class. Who's the lucky girl anyway? Elisa? Laura? Emma? Fee?
Don't try to deflect.
And don't tell me it's Milliam, because, you know,
I'm serious, Crow. I really want to know.
She's like 12, bro.
Think of telling me your past as paying off the interest you owe in that 50 Mira.
There we go.
Because until I know, until we know, we won't be able to move forward.
you're really serious.
Yes, of course! This situation completely calls for, like, an explanation of your motive, bro.
Crow?
My past really isn't that big of a deal, you know.
I'm getting even more flashbacks to, the last time we were in this situation. Another silver-haired person talking about the past of, someone near and dear to the protagonist's heart.
It's got nothing on yours, that's for sure. If you find yourself thinking that's all when I'm done, well, I warned you.
Oh, okay. So he's trying to already set us up. Well, I doubt Crow is going to tell us 100% of the story right this moment, so that's all good.
So, you really want to know?
We really want to know.
Yeah. Nothing you say will change my mind.
And then he can spit out the interesting 50%, like, at the tail end of the game or whatever.
Please, tell me.
All right, you win.
There we go.
Like I said, it's just your run-of-the-mill sob story. Pick up any history textbook and you'll probably find a dozen others just like it. It's the kind of story that's so common no one bothers to remember it, like it never even happened. Back in those days, Jirai was known as Jirai City. It was a city-state off the coast of northwest Zemuria that prospered through maritime trade with West Erebonia, North Ambria, and Remiferia.
I vaguely... Because I think North Ambria and Remiferia had representatives at, like, that conference in the first game.
It had a population of around 150,000 people, so it wasn't exactly a big place or anything. Because of that, the surrounding nations left it alone and let us live out our days in peace. We were pretty fortunate, all things considered. Until about 20 years ago. That was when the Northumbrian disaster struck, and much of the Principality of Northumbria was turned to salt.
Huh?
And as a result, trade on the northwest shore was reduced to virtually nothing.
How come no one talked about that up until now?
Day after day, Jiraiya's prosperity started to fade away. Still, it wasn't all bad. We had our fishing, our historic landmarks, our septium mines. We could make use of those to get trade going again, both to keep our state running and to help out Northumbria. In fact, the one who advocated that approach was the mayor, my grandfather.
Oh, this dude's not about to live to the end of this, that's for sure.
He was the last mayor Jiraiya City ever had. He was a stubborn old bastard, but he had this wry sense of humor, and was well loved by everyone.
That's cool. And I'm gonna go out on a limb and say that Crow's holding some blade cards there.
I lost my mom and dad early, so he was also my only living relative. He taught me just about everything a guy could know. He was like a mom, dad, and your old master rolled into one, I guess. Anyway, fast forward to 10 years ago. Out of nowhere, we received this proposal from the Erebonian government.
And being a second year, Crow should be around 18 years old, so...
They said they wanted to extend a railway line from Heimdall all the way to Jiraiya.
That would help things out, right?
We relied on the sea for trade before, but there wasn't any reason to believe we couldn't benefit from being connected to Heimdall by rail.
Yeah, there are only positives.
The proposal drew overwhelming support from the city's council, and as a result, my grandfather was forced to accept.
Forced? It sounds like he didn't really want to.
Within a year, the city had all of its old life back and then some. The streets were more bustling than ever. But keep in mind, this was the result of huge amounts of imperial capital flowing into the city. Land and buildings we once treasured were bought up left and right. Everything became a target for investment. People only cared about making money.
Oh, they got in a bud.
Something similar supposedly happened in Crossbell too, but unlike there, no opposition existed in Jiraiya. My grandfather sensed something was off, and he tried what he could to get the situation under control.
So basically, Jiraiya was being purchased right from under their noses.
Then one day, someone blew up the railway line leading to Jiraiya.
It's probably a lot more to that, but
Everyone demanded that it be repaired as quickly as possible. Everyone except the Imperial government.
So the Imperial government was probably behind it then.
Instead, they panned our national security arrangements for being insufficient and threatened to withdraw all Imperial capital. The city was left in an uproar like we'd never seen. Shares plummeted, and with no one able to ascertain the culprit's identity, chaos reigned. That was when he showed up.
Gilead Osborne, I'm sure.
Chancellor Gilead Osborne, in his third year as representative of the Imperial government, personally came to Jiraiya. We then received a second proposal.
The restoration of the railway and its future security will be seen to by the Imperial Army. In return for our continued assistance in safekeeping, Jiraiya will come under the wing of our glorious empire and attain even greater prosperity as a special economic zone.
The timing was too good to be true, really.
Yeah, that's all sorts of suspect, dude.
Realizing this, my grandfather staunchly opposed the idea. He tried everything he could to convince the city's council to reject the offer. Unfortunately, once you taste the sweet fruit of prosperity, it's hard to want to go back.
Yeah, they were caught, dude. There's no way.
The council, made up of influential merchants and all their greed, jumped at the offer. And tempted by the elimination of customs, together with the tax breaks from being an SEZ, many of the citizens did too.
So I'm still not seeing where this radicalized Crow, though.
And during all that, they'd conveniently found a suspect behind the railway incident. My grandfather.
Yep, 100% no way this dude lived through the end of this backstory, so hey.
He loved Jiraiya more than anyone, and up till then, its people loved him too. And yet, virtually overnight, he found himself facing the wrath of both the city's council and the citizens alike. Left with no choice, he resigned from his position as mayor, and Jiraiya formally became part of the empire. Both of these things happened on the same exact day.
Wow. That... yeah. Man, that sucks.
That was 8 years ago. Naturally, everyone knew my grandfather wasn't the one who did it. They knew who was really responsible.
The Imperial government.
They just turned a blind eye to the truth. See? I warned you. Just your run-of-the-mill sob story.
But the part where that radicalized Crow still hasn't come up.
I don't know what to say, Crow. What happened to him after that? Your grandfather.
Executed, no doubt.
One day, he just up and died.
Alright. See, Crow, there you go, omitting stuff again.
Once he resigned, the whole affair with the railway getting blown up was all but forgotten. He lived comfortably in retirement for about half a year, fell ill, and that was that. He just lost the will to go on, I guess.
So Crow was completely orphaned from about 11 years old.
Like I said, he was the only family I had. I mean, I had plenty of friends even then, but I chose to leave it all behind. I was 13 at the time.
Oh, okay.
I wandered the land, doing whatever I had to get by. That was when I met old Cayenne, who happily indulged my hatred for the Chancellor. And with his financial backing, I went out with the goal to find others who were just like me. That was the beginning of the Imperial Liberation Front. Gideon, Scarlet, and Vulcan were among those I recruited. I'd also met Vita then. I only knew her as the woman who would often come to see Cayenne. She guided me to a place below the city of Ortis, and there slept the Azure Knight Ordine.
Okay, so she played the role that Emma did for us then.
One after another, I overcame the same trials you did with your friends, but alone.
Wow.
And once I'd proven myself worthy, Ordine accepted me as his awakener. That was 3 years ago. I was 16.
Oh, Crow's 19 right now?
My preparations complete, I concealed my background and enrolled in a military academy near the capital. Everything I did for the sole purpose of taking the Chancellor's head.
Wow.
Come on now, what's with the face? You look sadder about all this than I do.
Yeah, I guess.
It is kind of crummy, but...
I swear. I'm not trying to tell you the Chancellor was evil or anything.
What?
Still, there's no denying that he managed to outwit my grandfather.
So Crow knows that he wasn't... If Crow doesn't think that Chancellor Osborne was evil, was it just like a revenge thing? I mean, I can still respect it, but...
And he may have lost, but Pop's always loved a good gamble. It's thanks to him that I'm pretty good at chess, card games, that kind of stuff. I'd say it's fairly normal for a student to want to avenge his master's defeat, wouldn't you?
Yeah? Yeah, I would.
Maybe.
At the end of the day, there's no denying this country has problems, and the Chancellor's methods were making them worse. I studied those problems, worked out how to use the situation to my advantage, and then won the game with an all-or-nothing gamble. But when you think of how peaceful Jirai is now, I'd say I've got a duty to clear up the mess left behind by my game too, which means ending this war and restoring peace.
Huh. Alright, well... At least now we kind of get what's going on with this guy.
So it's only when that's done that my game is truly over. I don't want whatever your decision is to be influenced by my past, okay? Like Rufus said, you need to think long and hard about what it is you're fighting for.
He overcame all those trials, so he beat that shadow thing whose name escapes me by himself. Man. Crow's no freaking joke, dude.
For you, more than anyone else.
Yeah, but Crow...
Anyway, I think I've stuck around here for long enough. You're gonna be treated as a visitor. Well, sort of.
I'm sure there's about to be a lot of restrictions on where we can go exactly.
It's about time for the higher-ups to head back to Heimdall, so go ahead and pass the time however you want.
However I want? What else can I even do here?
Are we about to... Who's... That looks Albarea-y. Is there not going to be an intro spin for this one, though? Oh. Okay, so they're taking off. Where? I don't know, dude. They're off to keep plotting, I guess, or something, but...
There'll be no guards outside your room, so if you want to try and escape, be my guest. Just keep in mind that some members of Ouroboros and Zephyr are on board too. Not to mention me, Scarlet, and Vulcan. So if you're up for a gamble of your own, get ready to take all of us on.
Crow's like, you can try it, bro.
Sounds fun.
Oh yeah, one more thing. There's this real cute visitor in the guest of honors room on the second floor. I think she'd perk right up if she saw you, so why not go pay her a visit?
Either Elise or Princess Elfin.
Just don't go making your girl jealous, okay?
This guy. Well, hey, we learned a lot about Crow, though, so it's all good.
I wonder who he means. He said she's in the guest of honors room. Well, I can't waste much time here. I told everyone I'd definitely come back soon. Right now, I need to gather as much information as I can.
Agreed.
I can make my choice after that. At least then, it'll be an informed one.
Alright. So now we've got free reign of the Pantagruel, which I was completely expecting. So we're going to go ahead, wander around here, maybe get into a huge fight with the Imperial Liberation Front. All of that's going to be next time, though, so definitely join me then for more Trails of Cold Steel 2. Bye for now, guys.